Welcome to another episode of Sporvado Sports. This is Evan Pearson, aka Big Ev, right back at you. Sorry I couldn't do an episode this past week. I had to catch up on some school, being a student at the University of Oregon, but we are back at it, continuing to cover recent topics and a lot of exciting news in sports. And baseball is on its way. You got spring training. It's the possible, can't wait for the summer for baseball to get up again. NBA draft and the NBA playoffs, that's coming up. A lot of, craziness in the playoff race there. Zion Williamson's doing phenomenal there. There's so many things that are just continuing to grow here. So I'm excited, a lot of potential things to talk about, and NFL draft just happened. I won't be covering it today, but I was impressed what I saw with a lot of players and stuff, and especially the kicker getting 25 reps. There you go. Gotta love it. But yeah, so overall, that's great there. So today, I will be covering the controversy over the Knicks, a bunch of tension over there as usual, and the hysterical sell the team chants of last night's game. And potentially another topic I found out today, Al Michaels potentially, this may not happen. We'll see what happens. Al Michaels probably might go to ESPN. It is a trade. ESPN announced that they want to do probably a possible trade and have him match up with Peyton Manning. Very interesting topic there. And then some minor little interesting things. Steph Curry returning. Happy for him to get back into the floor. Obviously, the Warriors are not making the playoffs, but it's good to have Steph Curry back on the floor, get warmed up again, getting into the offseason, et cetera, because you don't want him to go cold. And then finally, the hysterical do a 180 Embiid from the Jeopardy answer that was supposed to be trust the process. I love that. And Embiid changing his Twitter handle, or not Twitter handle, but his bio or description to do a 180, which I love. Something great that, that's definitely a hell yeah. I love that. It's really funny there that he's definitely paying attention to that. But anyways, going into the New York Knicks, total shit show. To be honest, James Dolan is a terrible owner, and just the head of that franchise, he's just terrible. It's a total shit show. I got, when they got rid of Fizdale, it's not his fault, not at all. He's doing his best of what he has as a team, because the free agency, they totally botched it. And you couldn't do anything there. They got Taj Gibson. It's just. It's not exciting, and they were trying to, obviously I knew they were trying to get Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving, but it didn't pan out that way. Thank God they didn't choose New York. That was it's terrible over there. So at least they went to Brooklyn. It's kind of close, but you can take it that way. So and just recently you got Spike Lee, not being able to go through the employee entrance. I understand if it's a new policy, there's a new thing, but understanding Spike Lee, how much money he spends at games and how much he's been an icon for that franchise, always on the court side, right there cheering on his Knicks. And he said, on First Take, he was saying that he's always taking the employee tunnel, always the employee entrance, always the employee tunnel, and all that stuff. So the fact that he was denied and he was told to go out and pretty much just the opposite side of the stadium, and he can't rescan the ticket again. So it's kind of ridiculous in that regard, and it baffles me that these minuscule difficulties occur, because it's pointless and you don't want to cause more tension in that franchise. And the fact that your fans are not with you, and it's disappointing. I love the Knicks franchise, besides Dolan, obviously, but the fact that being a historical franchise, I want them to succeed. I want them to get better. I want Stephen A to be happy. I want him to be like support. So all those things. And this kind of compares to the Charles Oakley situation. Him getting kicked out and stuff. Another famous New York Knick. And supporter. So it's just like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And even Dolan came up to him and was just like, hey, you can't do that. I'm like, to Spike Lee. And it was just like, really? Really? It's so idiotic. What is Dolan doing? Like, you already have no support from your fans, pretty much the world, and now you're getting rid of your number one fan icon, Spike Lee, making him pissed off, not going to any more games. Like, do you really want people to show up to games? Do you, James Dolan? Do you? We'll see. I don't think he wants it, but it's his fault in his regard. And last night, the fans sell the team chant at the end of the game. I love that. Even though they say that, I bet James Dolan is going to ignore that and nothing's going to happen. But that is what the New York Knicks fans are saying, and I feel for them totally in honesty. Like, I feel bad for the Knicks fans. I feel bad for them. It's like the Porzingis kid crying in the draft, even though Porzingis panned out and they got rid of him, really. Another player they got rid of. It's dumb, and obviously there were some years they had kind of excitement after, and they signed Derrick Rose, they got Joakim Noah, that year when they signed all those signings and free agency, nothing really happened. DeAndre Jordan, it's nothing is going on over there. It's just sad. I'm honestly sad for the Knicks fans after, their streak with Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony, J.R. Smith. Like, those were the good years of the Knicks, growing up for me. So seeing what they have gone down to this downward spiral, it's a shame. It's a total shame. What can you do? Honestly, there's some positives. You got JT Barrett, you could possibly lead your team in the future, but you got to fix something now, and that's get rid of James Dolan. Get his ass out of there. That dumbass. Get his ass out of there. That's all I can say. Finishing there. But hope things change around for the Knicks soon. I'm praying for you guys, any Knicks fans out there. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. It's the bottom of my heart. That's all I can say. Total shit show situation. Sorry. So going on to my next topic, I have an interesting thing that came up on my feed today. Al Michaels possibly could be traded to ESPN and start be a broadcast career there. Pretty interesting. Obviously, we know Al Michaels as the longtime co-host of the NBC Sunday Night Football with Chris Collinsworth, and before that, the legend John Madden himself. So interesting. I probably won't happen. I feel like Al Michaels is going to retire soon, anyways. But I think he's going to stay with the NBC for a while. He's going to stay there. But if this happens, they said that he could be paired with Peyton Manning, which is pretty interesting. Obviously, Monday Night Football with ESPN hasn't been as great since John Gruden left to go back to coaching, and the loss of Mike Tirico to NBC. So I feel like this is just like a swap. Like, hey, you guys took Mike Tirico from us, then we can get Al Michaels from you. But obviously ESPN Monday Night Football hasn't been that good since John Gruden and Mike Tirico were announcing. Honestly, I haven't seen. Like, it's not really exciting anymore. Even too, just not having Chris Berman as usual, and Jackson, it's just like the whole crew. Mike Ditka, right before, like they had Come On Man, all that stuff. Like, those are great segments, but it's like those are the original guys, and you got rid of them. It's just like, it's a shame. It's a shame. Because obviously I get they're trying to ESPN's trying to get a new wave of fans. They bring in younger players like, Randy Moss, et cetera, et cetera. So they're trying to bring in more people, like get out with the old, in with the new, essentially. And those things happen. People get old, you move on. Hey, we're losing some of the fan base. Let's change things up. Let's bring in some younger guys that people in the sports industry know more. But either way, I miss the old crew like Chris Berman and them. But if this happens, we'll see what things could be changing. But I would love to see Peyton Manning announce. After Tony Romo. That's one thing, too, I can talk about here. Tony Romo getting that huge deal, and Michael Thomas complaining, and because Tony Romo was doing a phenomenal job as announcer, phenomenal job. And, Michael Thomas complaining, saying, hey, announcers should be paid that much money. They should fix this, than more than some players. And I'm like, hey, CBS is completely separate from the NFL. Even though they announce for the NFL, it's their own company. CBS has their own right to pay their employees whatever they want. So Michael Thomas has no damn right to be complaining. No damn right, really? Like none. Like there's none. Like just stop complaining, Michael. I swear. Okay, I swear. So, like, why does this happen? Why? I think he's doing a great job. I think he's done a great job. He's pretty much predicting the plays before they happen. Hasn't been done by an announcer before. Like this is like he's putting everyone on, but even though Tony Romo hasn't got a Super Bowl, blah blah, he's mediocre, and then he was great. I think it was a great quarterback in the NFL, but it just shows you how much people they study like this the reason why he knows the plays before they happen, because this was Tony Romo's job. He was a quarterback in the NFL. He had to pay for his family. That was his job. He went into work, got to study plays, you got to study defenses, you got to, practice with your team, first team, second team, got to know your players, your teammates, build team chemistry. All those things, that is, that's his job, and CBS has their right to pay him whatever they want. So, be quiet, Michael Thomas. I love you. I respect you as a player. You're phenomenal. Keep, jacking up those stats every year. You're amazing. I hope you get a Super Bowl ring soon. You got Drew Brees for another year. We'll see what happens. But going off Al Michaels, Peyton Manning, I would love to see it, but I think that will not possibly happen because certain situations, etc. I think Al Michaels might retire with NBC. That's, may happen because he's getting up there in age. So, and what I said before, my final two little subtopics. Steph Curry returning. I love to see that. Going into the end of the season. Obviously, the Warriors are not going to make the playoffs, but it's great to see Steph Curry back on the court. Because as us, fans, it's weird to see the Warriors be this different, because they had so many injuries this year. Some potential young guys came up and, were, showed off, and so I'm excited for that. And Andrew Wiggins being on the Warriors now, I'm excited to at least see Steph Curry back in the court, and the fact that he can practice, get warmed up again, so he can go into the off season and get ready for next season. And they're not playing in the postseason, so there's nothing to lose. So this is just getting him warmed up again. I have mad respect for Steph Curry. He's a phenomenal shooter, a great star in this league. I would love to see him get back into it, going into next season and seeing him compete with the Lakers, the Clippers, the Bucks, and all that. Just adds more good team. And Klay Thompson, when he gets back, having those two again with Draymond Green. And if they keep Andrew Wiggins, he's another young player. I love to see that. I would love to see that. So just getting those guys again going into next season adds another great team. Being a Blazers fan, that sucks for us because that adds more strength in the Western Conference, as it already is. Western Conference every year has been dominant. I wish the East can get their asses in check. But, that's just a talent level balance on both sides. It happens. So I'm happy to see Steph Curry getting back into his situation. And then Jeopardy the other night. The question, great question, was the terminology they used for the 76ers on the rebuilding process, as well as Joel Embiid. And we all know it's trust the process, the process. The great quote from the Philadelphia 76ers. And it brings out the team as a whole, even though, there's been some little iffies with the franchise recently, but it happens. They're still doing solid in the league, but I don't think they won a championship. But I think they need to do some fixes with that team. But yeah, it's the player of the Jeopardy game said do a 180. Never heard that before, but it was a very funny answer. And now Joel Embiid has it as a Twitter bio, which I love. And the fact that Joel Embiid watches Jeopardy is great. Or possibly he saw on his, blow up, which it did, do a 180. It probably, obviously I saw on my Instagram, Twitter, etc., so he could have seen that elsewhere. But if he does listen to Jeopardy, that would be fucking awesome. Would love that. I'd love to see that. That would be really funny. But the fact that he sees that and he changes Twitter, that's great. Good laugh, in the sports industry. It's great. So I would like to end it there for Sporvado Sports. This is Big Ev, a.k.a. it's your boy, Big Ev, as always. But Big Bronze could not make it for this episode. He's been really busy lately, but it's fine. I'm still continuing the pod. Sporvado continues to go on. No matter what happens, Sporvado continues to go on. We got the banner in the background. Sorry about the lighting. I'll get that fixed. I need better curtains. They're really terrible, but hey, that's the college life. You get anything that's cheap, you do it, because it's cheap. College, we're all poor students out there. For all your college students out there, we're all poor. Let's go, right? We're poor. Let's do it. So that's the best I can do right there. Best I can do. So I'm starting out. This is my podcast. I'm a journalism student at UO. Let's get it done. And please subscribe if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Please hit that follow or subscribe button. And YouTube, as if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. I will be posting weekly content about sports. If you love listening to sports, learning about sport, getting all this new info, I'm going on deep analysis, all this stuff. I am a major in journalism, focusing on sports radio. This is my dream. I'm just trying to, I'm getting through I love this. This is my process. This is my trust the process of building my career. So please give a follow, subscribe. I'll put more content. Follow our Twitter, Instagram. Just search up Sporvado Sports. You should be right there. We're just a brand new account. I'll be posting content as well as, giving you updates on when new episodes are coming up. So feel free, enjoy it. Have a great day. Big Ev signing out.